At the beginning of the year, Tim said that the difficult out-of-conference schedule might produce some bumps along the way, but in the long run, it would better prepare your team for the postseason. Has it worked out that way?
I think it has in some cases. I think it hasn't in other cases. Before the season started, I thought that one of the main things for us was we were going to need to be mentally tough because there were going to be some bumps and bruises along the way. So I think I'm beginning to see that a little bit, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to be whether we can get rolling here at the end. If we can get rolling here at the end, play, I'm very confident. I think we can always look back and say, what we did against UCLA, what we did against Duke, what we did against the really tough opponents. I think we can look back and say, this is what got us here, and I think we can move on from there and do better because of it.
I think it worked because, we didn't have the results we wanted, and I think we came in this year with very high expectations for the year we had last year. So I think that's why it was so frustrating, but I think we played those games so we make sure whenever we get, in the quarterfinal NCAA tournament, against North Carolina away, we're prepared for those games. That's why we play those tough games in the beginning of the year.
I think it has because we played some great teams, really tough teams compared to last year, and dealing with that, it makes us more experienced, so we know how to play the game better because of harder teams. So I think like going into the conference tournament that we've got the experience and we're more prepared, so we know what we're expecting. So I think it's a lot more gives us more confidence because we know how to handle it, how to handle situations. So bumps in the road. It's gonna be tough, but to overcome all that and then at the postseason, how to handle that.
Yes, I agree 100%, and I think it worked. We played some very good teams in the beginning of the season, and I think we're very well prepared to face opponents along the road that are as strong as Duke, UCLA, and all the teams that we played in the beginning of the season.
I definitely agree because I feel like our first 4 or 5 games were just like the end of our season last year. So doing that, putting it from the beginning, and getting those results that way, and basically the struggles we have earlier in the season help us in the end. So yeah, I definitely think it did.
You opened up the Conference USA tournament against Marshall, who you played and tied a month ago up at their place. What do you take from that game that you would like to see repeated, and what would you like to see a little more of or a little bit less of in order to get a win this time around?
I think in that game, we need to pass the ball better than we did at Marshall. I think that's the main thing for me. Part of that has to do with Marshall's field, but I think part of it had to do with us as well and what Marshall did against us. So hopefully we can pass the ball a little bit better. And I think, what we need to improve on, certainly in addition to that, is just defending against free kicks, counters, long throw-ins. Those are always going to be an issue against Marshall, and so we need to make sure we're sharp on that. And then, as I would say, in every game, you just got to take chances this time of the year. When you get opportunities in front of goal, we're going to need some players to take chances.
I think that game we, as a team, worked extremely hard, and I think I would like to repeat that. Just get on the field and work as hard as we can, and we also have to be careful because Marshall is a team that never surrenders. They fight until the very last whistle, so we have to always keep that in mind.
Even though if it's Marshall or anybody else, we score first, and then we see how it goes from there because we've let on early goals in the last couple games, and I feel like if we don't do that, then it's just easy from then out. I think it's great because, we played each other, we tied, so right now, and that game could have gone either way, and now here we're on a different field, conference tournament, so I think we have a better chance.
I think we have to do what we've been doing all year. Just keep the ball, work it. Now we're going to play in a much better field than we did when we went over there. So we'll be able to move the ball around, and we have to come up, from the beginning, right away, be ready. We can't give up a goal in the first few minutes like we have been doing the past few games. And if possible, we have to score in the beginning of the game. It'll make it a lot easier. They have good players, and they're a strong team, big team. They'll do whatever it takes to win. We played against them for 4 years. We know what they like doing it. They like dumping the ball in the box, fight for it, and we have to match their intensity, and then hopefully our skill is going to take over and win us the game.
Well, playing Marshall up there, that was tough. Tough field, tough crowd. So it's just glad that we're going to be on a nicer field. And we came out with a good intensity against them. It was just, we had to battle some of the elements against them, and I think now that everybody's healthy and we're finally got our chemistry back, I think that going into the Marshall game we're much more prepared, much more confident, and I think we can take them this time. They're just more the team that's going to grind out. They're going to find anything to win, and they're going to sit back and you just try to grind it out, really. And for us to do that, I mean, it's going to be a tough game, and but I think we're ready for that. I think we were disappointed with that result last time, so I think we're ready to just go back out there and get a win, because we're trying to get that trophy.
Every team gives a little different challenge to us in Conference USA. I would say all 6 teams are very good. All 3 games. If you match those teams up, would be good games. It's all going to be 1 and 2 goal games, and I think so. I don't think you can choose one or the other. They all just kind of bring their own dilemmas and own issues. I think Marshall, again, I mentioned free kicks, long throw-ins, fantastic goalkeeper. I think those are some challenges there for them that we're going to need to address.
I think it's 2 teams that they have very different styles of play. We like to play keep the ball, and they are a team that like to play on the corners. So I think it's going to be a very open game and a very good game to watch it.
In regard to your own team, who or what has been the biggest surprise to you this year?
I'm not sure. I think we knew a lot about us coming into the year. We returned a lot of guys. I think the biggest surprise has been kind of our struggle in front of goal. I think I didn't anticipate that being an issue with the group, but we have struggled to put away chances, and so that's a confidence thing. That's a technical thing, and hopefully here at the end, we can produce more goals, because I think we haven't lacked for opportunities or chances. I think it's just been that final touch, the quality that we need, and so. That's a confidence thing. Hopefully a couple go in, and the guys go from there, and we get on a little roll.
One person that always, keeps you on your toes is our goalie, Jaime, because sometimes, the way he's just sitting there, and his reflexes are pretty incredible, so that's also nice to see.
Individually, I have to say Diogo. He's just so happy to be out there. He's going hard, and I'm just surprised that, I'm happy for him that he's doing so well, and, he's putting the team on his back, and he's really working hard, and Adam still is too with his injury and what he's going through. I mean, he's carrying the team on his back as well. And we might not have the same bounces as we did last year, winning games, because we've had some unlucky results. So I'm real glad that the team's sticking together and that we're at this point right now.
I think Jaime has been unbelievable for us in the goal. He's been answer the calls whenever we need to, and he's had some amazing games. So I think he's the guy that surprised me the most this season.
I think I was very surprised with Tyler. He came in when Robbie was hurt, did really well. And, Jaime has been unbelievable all year. So I'm really proud of him.